Hi Gary, good morning. So my research topic is the influence of cross-cultural value differences on Chinese and English liquid commercial language. The reason I want to do this research is because advertising as a marketing communication media contributes a lot on selling a product and idea and also service. Besides, all kinds of oral and visual designs appeared in the advertising, language design also play an essential role in terms of enhancing the attractiveness of advertising. So in my research, I want to mainly focus on the commercial language aspects. In my research, I want to find out the reason why, I want to find out how the cross-cultural value differences can impact on the commercial language in different language settings. So in my presentation, there will be mainly four parts. The first part, I will introduce the research questions I have, and then I will show the literature review I did and also the methodology I choose for my research. And then I will analyze the result I get from the corpus analyzed, and then I will give the conclusion of my research. The first, research questions. My research questions are: how do the differences in English and Chinese liquid commercial language related to Chinese and English-speaking cultural value differences? The second question is: what are the cultural factors that play important roles? In order to find the result of my research questions, I did the literature review. And there are mainly two sources I want to introduce. The first source is from a Chinese scholar whose name is Tan Weiguo. In his article, Chinese and Western Culture and Advertising Language, he introduced the four aspects that he used to compare the Chinese and English advertising. The first is physiological thoughts, and the second is thinking modes, also cultural psychology and moral concepts. By comparing these four aspects, he gave a conclusion and also can be considered as a suggestion that advertising language which fit the cultural orientation the best is most likely to be accepted in certain cultural settings. So from this source, I decided to analyze the differences in my research from two aspects, which is physiological thoughts and thinking modes. In the second source, the language of advertising analysis of English and Lithuanian advertising text. In this research, they compared the different stylistic choices, language use, and other preferences in the advertising language. The methodology they used is they use corpus to analyze the example text they collected for both language, and they collect 100 text examples for both language. By analyzing them, they summarize the differences in three aspects, which are the linguistic, syntactic, and also register characteristic aspects. So from this source, I decided to also use corpus as my analyze tools in my methodology part. So for my methodology, first I collect 20 example text for both Chinese and English liquid commercial. And then I use corpus to analyze them, and finally I form the result. So these are the two screenshots from my text examples I collected for my research. Both Chinese and English, I get 20 examples. And this is what the corpus analyze page looks like. Those three tables are the result I get from the corpus analyze. From the first table, we can see that nouns that are related to social relationship appears more in Chinese liquor advertising than English liquor advertising. And the numbers here represent the percentage of nouns that are related or non-related to social relationship among all the nouns appeared in the example text. The second table shows that the nouns that express personal experience appears more in English liquor advertising than Chinese liquor advertising. In third table, Chinese liquor advertising and English liquor advertising pays different attention when it comes to grand expression and detailed expression. Chinese liquor advertising pays more attention on grand expression, while English liquor advertising pays more attention on detailed expression. And for both table 2 and 3, the numbers here represent the percentage of nouns express personal experience or grand experience or detailed experience appear among all the words appear in the collected example text. So based on the result I get from the analysis, we can say that there are many differences appeared. According to Wei Guo, all those differences appeared because of the physiological thoughts and thinking modes differences. So Chinese liquor commercials use more expressions that related to relationship, while English liquor commercials use more expressions related to personal experience and feelings. Also, grand expressions are frequently used in Chinese liquor advertising, while detailed expression used more frequently in English liquor advertising. Chinese culture is more collectivism, while English-speaking culture is more individualistic. This is why in the result we can say that Chinese advertising language have more attention on relationship, which is the connection between group members, also can be seen reflect of collectivism, while English advertising language pays more attention on the personal experience and feelings, which is pay more attention on the individual. Also, Chinese culture tends to pay more attention to the general scheme, while English-speaking culture pays more attention to the specific object. And this is why we can see differences show in the chart that grand expression is used more in Chinese advertising language, while detailed expression is used more in English advertising language. So, in conclusion, the differences between Chinese and English-speaking cultural values impact English and Chinese liquor advertising language in terms of physiological thoughts and thinking modes. And also, as I mentioned in Weibo's research, he gave a suggestion that in different cultural settings, the advertising language design should pay more attention on the cultural orientation. I get the same conclusion and suggestion for my research result. I think when a Chinese liquor company want to go abroad and spread their products, they need to know the cultural orientation beforehand, and instead of using the original advertising in China, they need to slightly change the expression, at least change the expression of the product to fit the cultural preference in that culture settings. So this is basically all the introduction to my research project, and this is my reference page. And thank you for listening.